Okay, it's now up to Parliament to decide on the fate of former top prosecutors Nomgcobo, Jiba and Mwrebi. Jiba was Deputy National Director of Public Prosecutions when the President fired her in April, pending endorsement from Parliament. This after both the High Court and the Mokgoro Enquiry found that the pair of advocates were neither fit nor proper to hold office. The Supreme Court of Appeal later overturned the High Court ruling. To discuss this further, we're joined by Stephanie Fick from the Organisation Undoing Tax Abuse. OUTA has expressed disappointment at yesterday's Constitutional Court case. That's something else, whether or not they can be still part of the bar. Stephanie Fick, thank you for being with us. Let's start with Parliament. So I presume you want the parliamentarians to kick these former top prosecutors out.
Yes, I think as South Africans we deserve that. I think Parliament must look at the findings of the Mokgoro Commission and come to the conclusion that they are not fit to be part of a very important office. The National Prosecuting Authority has got a huge task on its shoulders. I mean, we're hearing the revelations at State Capture Commission. So we need to take charge at some point. People need to be held accountable. And I think they were, I think we firmly believe that they were part of that time in the National Prosecuting Authority when nothing happens. So we firmly believe that they should not go back.
Surely Parliament will endorse the President's decision. He's President of the ANC.
Well, yes, we sincerely hope that they will do that. The only concern is that, again, it goes back to the politicians. So hopefully they can make the decision that they should make.
Yeah, but there would be a huge upset if they didn't. It's often been said that South Africa is being run by inquiries. But here we see the Mokgoro Enquiry leading to tangible action. I mean, it gave the President sort of grounds for dismissal. Is this what we want to see?
I think so. I think in this instance it was the right thing to do. So every person must have some kind of process, and I think this process allowed for the facts to be aired and a process to be followed. So in this specific instance, yes, I think it was the right route to
Remind us what Nomgcobo, Jiba did and Mwrebi and why you're cheering their exits.
Sorry, I apologize.
Just remind us the facts of the case, what they were accused of, basically.
Well, let's first just remind ourselves that they are advocates. So firstly, as an advocate, you not only have a duty to your client normally, but you also have a duty to the court. And I think both these advocates were involved in famous cases. And various of the courts had very negative comments, made very negative comments about these two individuals. One example comes to mind is the fact that the court actually said that Advocate Jiba was less than honest about certain statements. And this is the question. Do we want someone that cannot tell the truth to the court to be part of the role of advocates?
Is it bigger than that? Because we want the right people prosecuted, concerned that hasn't happened.
Yes.
And you said they were part of things not happening. So
yes.
Stumbling blocks in your view.
Yes, yes. I want to reiterate that I think the National Prosecuting Authority is an extremely important institution. And I think we saw a bit of lack of them taking charge and holding the people that stole South Africans' money and all the corruption and state capture. We didn't see the prosecutions we were supposed to see. And I firmly believe it's because of management, and they were part of management.
Yeah. All right, so in the meantime, as it stands, they can actually practice as private prosecutors. Yes. Because the Constitutional Court said it couldn't strike them off. Yes. Are you disappointed by that?
Well, we're disappointed in the fact that they are still being, on the role of advocates. If you look at the decision of the High Court, I think there's various opinions whether that was right or wrong. But we are of the opinion that one has to respect the Constitutional Court. I think they came to the right conclusion. They didn't decide on the merits. They just said they dismissed
it's not a constitutional issue.
It's not a constitutional issue.
Why didn't the General Counsel of the Bar, who took this to the Constitutional Court, know that? They're full of advocates.
I think they try to. I mean, that's why we have a beautiful constitution. I mean, we have a beautiful process, and I mean that's part of
to try.
Yes, yes, and maybe they had arguments. Like I said, I think in the legal fraternity, you may have another guest that comes to a different conclusion. I think the disappointment lies more with what the Supreme Court of Appeal decided.
Yeah, yeah. So why have the courts allowed them to still practice? What does that mean for you?
Well, it means that they go back to the role of advocate. So let's hope that Parliament will do their job and not allow them to go back to the NPA. They are then allowed to still practice as advocates. Now, one has to question whether they will have a job and whether clients will approach them. But yes, they can go back to practice.
Does this raise an issue? I mean, if the General Counsel of the Bar can't get people struck off the roll, who can? Is it very difficult in South Africa to bring advocates down?
I don't think so. I think there's one question. Are you a fit and proper person to be an advocate? There's certain duties and obligations on you as an advocate.
But here we have two who've been found neither fit nor proper, who can still be advocates.
That's the disappointment. And like I said, I think the disappointment lies more with the Supreme Court of Appeal, who found that Jiba, for example, Advocate Jiba, didn't commit any, her actions wasn't that deplorable.
So OUTA, finally, a lobby group, you watch what's going on in government. Are you happy with current prosecution's moves? We're still waiting for that first state capturer to be put into jail.
Yes. I think when Advocate Betoy started, I still think so. I think they are the people in leadership that caused, some of the prosecutions not to go forward, did the NPA a big injustice. So when she came into office, she had an extremely difficult task, not only looking at the people inside the NPA and fixing that, but then also fix the criminal justice system in the sense that going after the perpetrators. So I don't envy her. But there is this question, I think, us as South Africans are becoming, a bit impatient. When are we going to see these people being held accountable for atrocious things? We're hearing all the revelations at the State Capture Commission. But there's hope. I do believe, and I firmly believe in our criminal justice system. We have a beautiful constitution. There are some good, very good people in the NPA left. They need some time, just under normal circumstances. A good prosecution takes time to investigate, and we don't want them to go to court willy-nilly and lose cases. We want them to go out strong. But that will unfortunately take time. So we now need to balance. I think we still need to be a little bit patient, but they need to start showing us that, yes, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, well, let's end with hope. Thank you very much for your time. Stephanie Fick from OUTA, the organisation Undoing Tax Abuse.